I begin? I guess we'll begin where I'm at now. It's December, and the new year is around the corner. This month has been one of the hardest in my life. Not to be dramatic, but I definitely feel like it's made a huge impact on me. A friend reached out and messaged me asking for my rose and thorn of the day. I realized that in every moment, in every day, in every month, in every year, there's a rose and a thorn. And as painful as the hard parts are, they're also the moments that we get to grow and appreciate the good. And so while I wanted to look back on the year and recap everything that happened, I didn't want to leave out the thorns, because my God, this year had some thorns. And they were hard. They were really hard. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because they made every moment that I was experiencing a rose tenfold better. So let's do a little rewind and start at the very beginning.
Oh my God.
Stepping into 2022, I felt excited. Suddenly there was whispers going around that we would be able to travel, and this idea of like stepping into this new chapter of my life just really excited me, being 22 and being able to actually maybe live out the dreams I've had of how my 20s would look like. I was really excited, and then COVID hit and I got it, and I got really sick. All that excitement I had about COVID being gone just hit me like a ton of bricks and reminded me that it's not.
Okay, now let's just die, please.
Okay.
We're negative!
But we pushed through. I got better. But I was still fragile for a while. I felt really weak. I didn't feel like myself. I felt confused about what I wanted, and I didn't feel available to really be kind of there for the people around me, because I felt like all the energy I had to go to myself. Stepping into February, I ended up actually getting a dream collaboration, and I managed to work alongside one of my really close family friends on a really incredible project that allowed me to travel and just reminded me, I don't know how exciting and how much can happen in such an instant. I was so excited, and then like every month the thorn came along, and this time it was heart-wrenching because my whole hometown had been hit really hard with flash floods. As hard as it was to see everyone go through that, I was so inspired by the kindness the community had of just helping each other out. People were going door to door to strangers that they've never met and just being there and helping with what they can, and it really just reminded me what matters, you know, those moments where we're just so human and we just need each other. March came around, and whilst the heaviness of February lingered, I was just feeling so grateful for the people in my life. I was so in love with my boyfriend at the time, and I found this excitement in traveling together and just the possibilities of the future. It was very soon after that we both realized that me and Ethan were heading in completely different directions, and as much as we loved each other, we knew that if we wanted to grow and be the people we wanted to be, we had to let each other go. April was heartbroken joy era. I was so sad because everything that I hoped for in this year of traveling with my partner disappeared. And not only did I lose someone I really loved, but I had to figure out what I wanted to do and how my future would look like now that they're not in the plans.
No, I don't want one drink. I want the whole freaking bucket. Core muscles, and with my core muscles, I will get it.
May was a month of daydreams and trying to create some sort of concrete plan in the future. I planned to go with one of my friends to Europe, and last minute she pulled out, and so again my plans were flipped upside down, and I had to find peace and comfort in just going with the flow. I ended up turning my pain into art and fueled all my emotions into my work, focusing on my brand and just really channeling everything I've learned through heartbreak into a line of jewellery, and it really helped, and it allowed me to connect to so many people around the world that were feeling the same things of heartbreak. Suddenly it was June and I was feeling so anxious because it was time to travel. I was about to leave to Europe, and I had never really travelled by myself before. Although I was meeting friends along the way, I just was so scared that in those moments alone I would get lost or something bad would happen. And yet, as soon as I got on the bus to the airport, it was like all the fear melted away, and suddenly I was in Europe, and I was so happy. July of 2022 was probably one of the best months of my life. I felt like myself again after what felt like years of, I don't know, COVID and just confusion of what I wanted. I just was traveling again, and it just was like, it just felt like an exhale, really. Like, I finally felt like I was living out my 20s how I had imagined it.
Oh, my lost one. You would prefer that, Chloe? Maybe not.
August was such a special month in Europe because I actually got to go visit my family in Copenhagen, who I'd never met, and kind of connected to this whole other side of myself that I'd never really got to. I also went and visited all my family in Israel.
תראי, דואה, שם אני מחכה לתור שלי. טוב, אז היא באה, אני צריכה מפתח.
I got to see my grandmas and my grandpa and my cousins and my friends, and I just forgot how much that place means to me and how much all my family there means to me. They are such a big part of who I am, and being able to connect to that and the culture there that, you know, lives inside me, it was just an incredible experience. I got to spend all this amazing time with new friends, and yet there was this little part of me that was not able to be completely present because I knew that this trip was coming to an end, and this dread inside of me of going back to Australia and slipping back into who I was before I left, and just going back to a place where I felt so heartbroken freaked the shit out of me. So September happened, and I decided to take a leap of faith and extend my trip. My good friend Patty that lives in Berlin said he had a room free in his apartment while his roommate was away. And so I went to Berlin, and had the best time. The rest of the month in London was just one of the best times of my life. I know I keep saying that, but this whole trip to Europe really just felt so nourishing and happy, and just a complete contrast to the beginning of this year. I took a leap of faith and booked an acting course in London. I was terrified. It was so out of my comfort zone, but I felt like I needed it, and I'm so glad I did it. I met some of the most wonderful people, and the thorn of the month was just the pain I felt leaving.
I don't want you to leave.
I don't want to leave. It's so sad. We've been like on the edge of tears all day.
Yeah.
October, I got home and it felt so good to see family again and so many people I love. It felt really weird as well being back in my hometown and comparing who I was now with who I was before I left to Europe, because the heartbroken girl that left felt so far away from who I was now, and yet I felt like I was slipping back into her. Suddenly I blinked and it was November, and I went to visit a bunch of my friends in Melbourne, the friends that I've grown up with and have known me since I was so young, and it just felt like such a breath of fresh air to hang out with people that I can be 100% myself with, and they know me sometimes better than I know myself. And yet throughout this whole experience I still felt so lost and just confused as to what I wanted to do with my next step, what I wanted to do in my career, where I wanted to be. I just felt lost. We reached December and the month started off with a really unexpected turn of events. My dad ended up having to get rushed to hospital, and it was so scary. Although we were trying to stay positive, the thought of losing a parent, your dad, someone you love so much, just put everything into perspective and made me realize that nothing else mattered. Whilst all this was happening, I started going through my own health issues as well. As hard as this month was, it just showed me how much community means. My family stepped up more than ever, and the people around us and our friends. I guess we all have our own ways of coping when times get hard. I guess for me, I've just found that creating art and making videos for you guys is my way of kind of finding meaning for the hard, tough parts of life. These videos give me purpose through even the hardest times, and I guess that's why I created this video, because although I wanted to just reflect and process everything that happened this year, I also wanted to create meaning for myself as to why all these events happened. And even now in December, the hardest month, I've found peace in knowing that I can create a video that can hopefully help you guys feel less alone and understood, because life isn't always easy, but that's life and we get through. So I love you guys, and I will see you in 2023. What? Oh, don't get me started. Coccantini.